What do you think it is, like 17 with the wind chill?
It's really cold.
Yeah. Well, you're asking me to think. We agreed. No thinking.
So luckily I brought some cold liquor.
Yes.
There we go. This will warm us up.
Dang.
All right. This will.
All right, me Kingdom 8.
See? 8. Let's get easier and easier.
All right, so we're making Osso Bucco. So what we need to do is we need to chop some of this up, this up, and this, and then some garlic and onion.
Okay.
And we don't even have to really chop it. Like you can just cut those in half. Onions we can cut into quarter. We're burning through a lot of wood.
Yeah. So we don't die.
The trick to Osso Bucco is you don't take them out of the wrapper. These are amazing. I would say where I got them, but they're not sponsoring us, so.
So they can go to hell.
Just gonna put a little flour on these. These were $300. Okay. It's almost done.
So we're.
It's another couple seconds. Dude, Joe Satriani's gonna do it. He's gonna be fine. I told him I was gonna teach him how to play the guitar.
Oh, here comes Matt. Hey!
Hey.
Hello. Hey, Matt!
Did I make it?
So over here is Ronnie Neely. He does the Aquatine podcast.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
And then this is John Breston.
I would wave, but
It's so cold. Our batteries aren't charging out here. It's so cold.
Are you? Yeah. Where are you at?
Well, we're up in the mountains of North Georgia at a campsite.
well, we're training for the end of days,
Yeah,
and this is a dry run.
Fair enough.
yeah. So,
Yeah, it's good.
so Matt, what are you up to?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm in this weird void. It's so funny because I wasn't able to do my background joke, which is my old office because I just moved,
Oh.
and my new office is empty, and so it's really boring.
Well, there's one thing in your background. Tell us about that. What's that thing plugged in back there?
That's a remote that controls the air conditioner.
You know, Matt, when I first met you, it was back on Shredforce, and your hair was like down to your ass.
Yeah. I was. That's when I was trying to be a rocker.
Do you remember when we pitched that show to the head chief of Disney, whatever his name was, and you're in there like doing the voices and showing the pencils, and I had my guitar and my amp, and I'm just like shredding and noodling, and the guy was just staring.
You're just playing you're playing the score. I gotta say, Shredforce, for those who don't know, is like probably one of the most famous failed pilots in history. It was a hard fall because it was one of the most beautiful. You can see it online. Somebody leaked it. It's out there, and it's gorgeous, and it still holds up, and it's really good. Like 10 years. How many years ago did we do this? Like 15 years ago. It was like 2012. Yeah. That trailer, that pilot was secretly passed around by all the animation people who like got their hands on it, which is probably why it was leaked. I didn't do it, Disney. Don't worry. It was just me and Matt, and we were literally at the high rise at Disney Channel. Well, I'm going like, and then this guy says this, and then pew 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 pew, and I'm doing like sound effects, and he's just like shredding on his guitar, like just trying to keep up with the cartoon.
I mean, to the animation on that leaked, however long ago, I don't know, a year or so ago on Twitter. I know it got a lot of views, and I think there's something to be said of this old pilot that most people are seeing for the first time within the last year, but a lot of people are really responding to it. I mean, Dana Snyder, one of the voice actors on it, he has people coming up to him at conventions now, like, can you sign this Shredforce thing? So there's something to be said to the animation specifically there that it still holds up, like, as this new thing within the last year, which I think is awesome. Tell us about working on The Ripping Friends, which was a show that wasn't an Adult Swim original, I don't think, but it did air on Adult Swim in the early years. Yes.
Yeah, I don't honestly know how that show made it on the air. It was my first television storyboarding show. Like, and this was after, you know, Boo Boo and all that stuff. So, you know, I was still working at Spumco, and Fox Kids goes, "Hey, we want a John Kay show." And so we went, "All right, here we go." And it was Ripping Friends, which was, you know, a big, muscly, funny, you know, show. Honestly, like, I wasn't really privy to a lot of it because I was the kid. So they were just like, go in that closet and draw. And that's kind of what I did. But that was my first television storyboarding job, where I had to board giant muscular men fighting each other and tickling each other.
That's what Maiellaro does, but in his free time.
Yeah.
It's not like a paid gig or anything.
Yeah, that's a whole different YouTube channel.
That show is super anatomical. And Jim Smith, the artist, who's one of the best artists I've ever met. He was on Ren and Stimpy, and he was on everything. But he was the guy who, you know, he kind of talked like Hank Hill. He was like, well, you know, you got to learn how to draw muscles, you know, and get them right in the right place and stuff. I had done figure drawing a lot, you know, as an art student. But he was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. And he would tape boxing and wrestling matches. And then he had a video VHS that could like, do frame by frame, so that he could find the exact frame of impact on anything, where all the muscles would just like flare out of the arm, and you go, now draw that. And then that's actually how I learned anatomy, for like, because I went to art school, but like in art school, it's you know, at least the one I went to, it was very like, oh, draw what you feel and draw what you know. And I'm like, I don't know anything. He's like, I want to know exactly what those muscles are, what they're called. Show them to me. Like, you didn't do the deltoid, you know, diptophragmine or whatever it was called. Like, he knew it all. Like, he was so good at that. And so that was my training. It pays off.
Yeah.
Knowing anatomy.
Ronnie majored in anatomy, right?
I invented anatomy, actually.
That's what I meant.
Nobody even
when I
talked
said
about
majored,
it
I meant
before.
invented.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I was pretty drunk when I came up with it, so I don't have a story about it.
I want to apologize real quick to what happened to Drinky Crow, because the blocks got shorter, so we can jam in more commercials. And you probably noticed this, but on reruns of Drinky Crow, I'm sorry, dude. I was the one who cut it down and sped it up.
You know what's hilarious is that you were the second person to cut it down and speed it up. And the first one was me, trying to fit all the fucking writing into like the little tiny square that I got. There was so much in that show that I just had. I used to speed up all the dialogue. I would speed. So if you sped it up more, you were just, you know, going with the flow.
5%. 5%.
You do more than draw. I mean, you do voices.
So I do a lot of development, which is how Matt, you and I met. You know, I was a development director, you know, who like creatively goes, hey, here's a project. Like, how do we do it? Like, what do we do with it? And so most of what I do comes out of that, which is writing and drawing and directing. But also, over the years, I did a lot of voices because I would have to sell it first, right? And that's before we cast and before we actually spend the money. So I would usually put these presentations together, and so I would do a lot of voices. And fun fact, my first voice acting gig, really, like ever, when I joined SAG, was I used to sub for Casey Kasem. Casey Kasem with the top 40, with, you know, when you keep your feet on the ground and keep your head looking to the stars. Like that guy, he was the voice of Shaggy from Scooby Doo. And, you know, he just didn't have time for everything. So eventually they needed someone to just come in and sort of fill in. And I was this dumb kid at the third floor of Warner Brothers Animation, being loud and obnoxious. And Matt, you know me. You can probably tell from this interview now. But I was doing a lot of voices, and then eventually they're like, we need someone who can do a good Shaggy. And I was like I can, Scoob. And then they were like, get down here. And then they tap heart lead me like on the spot. And when that was a thing. And then like suddenly I'm in SAG and I'm in the recording booth and they're like, we need you to sing the Scooby Doo song as Shaggy. And I'm like, Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? And I did the whole thing and zoinks and like DVD extras, all that stuff. And then they're like, great, you got the job. The Emmy was because I had developed a new Muppet Babies with Disney. And for the show reel, I did all the voices of the characters just to get it out. And I did a good enough job where they're like, yeah, you're pretty good. Like, and I was like, can I audition? And they're like, sure. And I went through months of auditions, like, because they auditioned everybody. Like, this is a big deal. It was like, we're doing the Muppets again. And, but eventually I got Kermit and then I started doing him professionally and going, yay, and all that for, like 5 or 6 years. And then that got me an Emmy. I also did Rolf the dog, son of a bitch. I play the piano, I'm an old dog. And then so I did that. I did one of the 2 old guys. I did Waldorf, the old guy. Oh, yay! Oh, look at that. You got a Kermit.
I got a Kermit.
Are you going to sacrifice him tonight in the woods?
No.
He's going to do that.
My son Wyatt is a huge Muppet fan, and this is one of his stuffed animals.
I wish I had the puppet here. The puppet is in a box somewhere, but I got a Kermit puppet that I do stuff with. But I'll do it. I'll if you want like a little video message or something, I'll do it for you.
Maybe you could like promote Meat Kingdom with it.
Meat Kingdom. It works on the Kermit voice. Meat Kingdom.
Shredforce, we are the techno apes. We come to take over the earth.
Yeah, and eat bananas.
Let's go shred some monkey butt. Rock on, rockers! Shredforce!
I hadn't heard from you in like 10 years, and all of a sudden you're like, have you seen this shit on Twitter? And it was like, it got like 5 million views in a day or something?
Dude, it was nuts. Yeah. And fan art, I would say I'm in the hundreds of fan art downloads that I've got, like that people have sent me, like just on social media, where they're like, hey, here's my Nordic bunny, here's my Ronnie, here's my locust.
Hey Ronnie, I want to go back to your mug.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I grabbed the biggest one I could find, and this was it. Yeah.
Are you just really small?
No, it's normal sized. It's normal sized. I'm just a small guy.
You just, over the course of this interview, you're just shrinking.
I'm actually standing on my chair right now to talk to you guys. I hope it's okay.
I'm wearing these pants that are heated but they're made by David Cronenberg, so they're becoming part of me.
You went from never wearing pants to pants you could never take off.
Meat pants. It was Meat Kingdom. Hey, I just plugged the show.
Good night, everybody.
That's why Maiellaro gets people on here, just to plug the show, and then all he airs is the plugs, but he never actually shows any other content.
For 40 minutes.
So we're going to plug the show on the show about the show to plug the show. Okay?
Coming soon.
Trust me, it's the future.
It is. It's all marketing and advertising.
So they have to watch the show to get the ad for the show.
Explain it while I stoke up the fire, because this fire is going. It is so cold out here, guys. It's incredible.
Fire is losing the battle.
Yeah, my iPhone stopped charging. It told me that it was too cold to charge, so I had to put it in my truck and run my truck for half an
An
hour.
hour to turn on the heat so it would charge.
My dad's Johnny Depp.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and so is he really?
Yeah. Should I get him?
I
Dad.
believe you. You're Ronnie Neely Depp, right? You just got that part off of it.
Yeah. I don't want nepotism, to influence the bookings I get, but that's exactly why Matt has me on this show, I should say.
Yeah. Well, it's working because here I am.
Moloch Super Castle!
You did a lot of voices in Shredforce. You did like 4 or 5, right?
Yeah. I did the Locust, which was like this sort of drummer nerd guy.
Hey, wait a minute, you guys! Are we really playing a concert?
Oh, I did the Minions. Sir, we're gonna take over the planet, sir.
Aw, man, that's the 5th minion you've popped today.
Like that guy. Oh, and I did the narrator, the Shredforce.
Shredforce!
The rock and roll narrator who would go, meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Meanwhile, Nordic Buddy's evil headquarters.
And then we got Jess Harnell did Molochs.
Yep. Yeah, I did the drummer though. I did the Ozzy Osbourne. He doesn't actually say anything. He just goes like, he just says whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, right, yeah, we know exactly what you're saying. Even Jess said, hey, when he found out that when he found out that Disney had passed on Shredforce, Jess Harnell called me and said, hey, can I get my hands on that pilot? And like I actually like met him at a restaurant, and it was all like it was like a spy movie, and I was like, I handed him a flash drive with the pilot on it, and I'm like, don't tell anybody I gave this to you. And he goes like, don't worry, I won't.
So what are you working on now that you can talk about?
So if you've heard of the book series Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I consulted on the first 3 movies, and I'm directing the 4th, and it's an animated version. So it's CG, it's 3D animation. For those who aren't animation people, like Pixar, it's that sort of, it's not 2D, it's not flat, it's got light and stuff. I do have a personal project that I'm doing right now called Super Free Play, which is a video game / movie that I'm doing. So it's like we're doing like a kind of a television special. We're self-funding. I got some studio partners involved and some investors, and so we're doing an animated special, which is basically like a movie that could be split up if we decide to go the YouTube route or something. Like we don't have a distributor yet, but we're producing that now, and a video game, and the video games turn out really cool.
Nice.
So those are the 2 big ones that I'm sort of cooking. I got a little, you know me, Matt. I'm always doing something. I'm always up to something. But
I love the hustle. That's awesome. Ronnie's not helping.
No.
Well, but I mean, like when you're Johnny Depp's kid, I mean, how much do you really have to do?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You look just like him, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Well, he is my father, and what can I say? The seed, doesn't fall far from the tree. So.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate you being on Meat Kingdom. We've had a blast talking with you.
Yeah, no, thanks. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being asked to hang out. I don't get out much, so thank you. Cave.
Yeah, we'll have you back, and we'll have it at least be 55 degrees and not 7. So.
All right. It's nice to meet you, Matt.
Thank you.
All right. See y'all.
All right. It's bubbling like it should be doing. Trying to keep it off the picnic table so the burgers don't. Looks good. Yeah. Oh, do you hate mushrooms? Because there's mushrooms in this.
Will this kill you?
These may be the poisonous ones. But